Hola mi gente, this is
Ready or Not Latinas Podcast.
And these are your hosts,
Yessi,
Jessica,
Karina,
and Joanna. Just a reminder, we release new topics every Wednesday and officially making it Latina Wednesdays.
So stay tuned and get ready for this chisme.
welcome back to another Latina Wednesday.
Woo!
¿Cómo están? ¿Cómo están?
Más o menos.
I'm hating.
You're hating?
I'm hating. You know why
I
I'm
know.
Why? I'm
The
hating.
envy is real today.
The envy is green. Because you went to the concert.
Girl.
Yes, it's been like that since that day. I'm like,
Yes.
I'm gonna go to fucking work and this bitch is gonna go to the concert.
Babe,
You know
talk about that. I was
I
listening
kept checking
to
her location. I'm
to
like,
her-
she's leaving. She's going. Oh my God, she's there. Oh my God, she's still there. Waiting for her to FaceTime me so I could be at the concert. I don't give
No,
a fuck
wait.
that I was in the middle. I would have been like,
I saw your call. And then, but I saw it too late. And I was like, no. I saw it an hour later, bitch.
Yeah.
I didn't get not one call
I
went through for
FaceTime.
me. Not one call went through for me.
We sure did.
I did. I saw it too late. Andaba en la pinche tienda. ¿Tú crees? No, I would have rather. I would have ran out the freaking store.
If she knew, she would have seen it.
But
Yeah.
let me tell you, that was MC Magic and Little Rob's first time coming to Tampa, Florida.
It was their first time?
Yep, he said it.
Oh my
Yep.
God.
I was fucking shaking. I couldn't believe it. I wanted to cry. But I'm
I
like,
would've been
I'm
crying.
around all
Yeah,
these
girl.
cholos. They're gonna be like, this pussy asshole.
Was there a
But-
lot of people?
Yes, there was a lot of people. A lot of freaking people. And it was very family wise. There was a lot of family and their children.
And the children.
in the
You know, in the
¿Estaban
video
bien
that Karina,
portados?
Sí, güey.
no pasó nada malo.
No, güey.
That's
Everybody was chilling. Casi nadie estaba tomando. Yo creo no, it was just us. We were drinking. But
Y los carros, how was the cars?
oh my God, beautiful. Beautiful.
The
beautiful.
women or the women in the car or the car?
No, just a car. There was casi no women
había-
así
no- ay, como
bonitas,
antes.
sexy, con las nalgas de fuera
no
y bien
había.
cholas. No.
Ah, qué bueno.
Habían otras cholas.
Yo quería ver nalgas.
Había
No,
otras
just kidding.
cholas, pero eran de esas como like long dickies and
Yeah.
regular white shirt and like that.
¿Dónde había
Pero
esa community para
in California, you gotta go to California.
No, pues esas estaban
aquí
aquí en
también.
Tampa.
No,
But you
but
don't
I'm
know
talking
if they're
about the
real,
women.
Yeah, but if they
You
were
don't know if
dressed
they're
apart.
just. You don't know if they just got dressed up just because it.
I mean, I don't want a real like a real one that's in a real gang. Hey or no, but I like the lifestyle. Like the
Okay.
people they have the passion for the cars and they're in car clubs and they
Okay.
dress
Oh,
like that.
there was a few women that were in car clubs. Like it was
Yeah.
their cars. Like they were sitting right next to their
and then
car.
I saw a video where they were measuring how tall the lowriders go up. I was just like,
But those are like, I would be scared to do that to my vehicle. Le metes tanto cosa bonita al carro para que esté jumping like that and
y
it
luego que
breaks.
estrelle.
No, hombre.
Oh my God. Yeah,
But
the car
it-
thing it's I wouldn't do it for myself, but I'm saying like just being in the environment. I'm like, that's my dream.
No, but I'm not gonna lie. There was a few women or girls that were dressed like cholas. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, look at you. You looking chola. Okay.
It's like a
10 out
like
of
a cholo.
10. Yeah. Pero it was amazing. I was so blessed to see MC Magic and Little Rob.
Yeah, I know. I've seen the videos, bro. Every time, the first time that I opened the first one, I think it was Little Rob, the one you sent me. I got chills. I'm like, I missed it.
I'm like, oh, I wish my sister was here. She would have been so happy.
Girl, I would have passed out.
Porque no había, I'm telling you, no había pedo. Like, it was
Yeah.
so chill. Like, it was no ratatata. It was literally like pura raza. Like,
familia.
peacefully. Yeah.
Yeah.
Legit. So, that was
Pero
freaking
para la
amazing.
otra.
Yeah.
Para la
Yo creo
otra.
que es más borlote cuando vas acá en los bailes estos como ¿cómo se dice? Like
Like Club Phoenix and stuff like that.
Ajá, ahí es
Oh,
donde se
man.
monte. You would have think it would have been at the lowrider show that they acting the fools, right?
Yeah.
Because of the lifestyle, que supuestamente
They
that's the
make
way
it
people
seem
view
it,
and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was chill.
Oh, no. Tomorrow supuestamente van a venir. Bueno, on Saturday que van a venir los inquietos. Now that's
shit.
gonna get wild. Tomatoes.
Yeah, that is.
They're
That
gonna be
they get
tomatoes,
wild.
tomatoes everywhere. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God, I remember cuando ellos primero salieron. Bro, their music used to get you hyped.
It still gets me hype. I
yo no me
like
acuerdo
it.
quién son los Inquietos. I know, el nombre se me hace familiar, pero
a ver,
la música
cántale
no,
un
güey.
pedacito de la canción. La que dice...
Se abrieron las puertas del infierno.
No, not that one.
Ay, pues,
The one
¿cuál?
that says,
She's like, hell no, not
es
that.
que no me sé las words. Se hicieron antes de la tarde. ¿Dónde está el desmadre?
Madre.
Estamos locos desde ayer. Y luego empieza la...
No, güey, no.
Y la
me
gente
perdí.
agarra la cerveza y le hace... And
Oh,
you get beer all over
Yeah.
you. Girl.
That's the only reason why I'm not going, because I'm not gonna get beard on me after. I'm gonna get cute and all, and
People get
second,
wild.
they give like mosh pit, like a
Yeah.
mosh pit,
Yeah,
like that,
literally.
like a Mexican mosh pit, and people empiezan a tirar putazos,
Yeah,
man.
because I mean, borrachos y luego estás en ese ambiente y siento como que estás tomado, so your mind is there, but it's not really there. Y alguien te pucha poquito más
And
de
you're
lo
like, "What,
que
bitch?"
Ajá, and then just like,
No, my thing is, okay, if you throw beer, okay, but these motherfuckers
tiran toda la botella.
tiran todo el bote. Like, ya no dan botellas. Ya no dan
Oh, ya
botellas.
no dan botellas. Oh,
dan
shit.
botes. Pero como
Como
quiera
quiera
un
duele un
bote, un bote lleno duele.
Bitch,
Pues duele, güey.
No, y sí,
¿Nunca les han
imagínate.
tirado un bote lleno a ustedes?
Hell no.
No, me either, but I've seen that shit.
¿Sabes lo que me han aventado y me dolió hasta la
What?
pinche panocha? Water day in high school, que me aventaron un water balloon, bitch, y me cayó en la mera nuca. Bitch, I started crying.
It hurt?
like a
Damn,
bitch.
they threw that water balloon with lots of force.
I'm like, who
Are you
the
sure it was water and not ice?
bitch? No, it was water, because I felt it all down my ass crack.
Okay, it was water.
Pero cuando me pegó like completo.
Recio.
Like,
Oh
the
my
recio made me
God.
¿Quién te lo
cry.
aventó?
No sé, güey, pues everybody was
Motherfuckers.
running everywhere, throwing balloons everywhere. When I turned around, there was just so much happening que...
You couldn't
You
tell.
were like,
yeah, bitch, I was like, fuck. I was like, y esta
Jessica threw her
pendeja
white flag out.
de por sí que like, no tenía friends. Y nomás de ahí de estar parada de pendeja me dieron un
Te dieron
putazo.
Te dieron a la madre. No, hombre.
I
I was like, you see, that's why I don't go to this shit.
And I'm pretty sure that's exactly what you said.
Yeah.
Pobrecita.
¿Y qué? Me fue a la casa toda mojada del culo,
Toda
con
dolorida.
toda la dolorida de la nuca. Y nomás me da un aneurysm y ahí quedé. Por un
Ya.
pinche... ¿Y eso
Globo.
por qué se murió? Water balloon in the neck.
Hey, there's probably weird shit like that happens.
Bitch,
I wouldn't be surprised.
So, imagínate un botellazo. A mí,
No,
un
hombre,
botazo.
güey. En la puta cara también. Luego, how you gonna go to work on Monday?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Bruh.
You're gonna go work on pinche ojo
Wednesday.
bien hinchado.
Es como... No, pues te iba a decir, no, pues ahora se ponen masks, pero no te tapas el ojo.
Hell no. If I go, I'm wearing a fucking helmet with the front gear and everything.
Oh, hell no.
Hell yeah. Nothing's hitting my head. Shoot.
Don't
Pero en
go.
ese ya
Just
van a
don't go. Yeah,
decir,
hell
pues
no, I'm
ya
not gonna
para
go.
qué ir, no ir.
No, no voy a ir. ¿Para qué even go?
Si
cute?
Karina se
Ahórrate tus
anda agarrando putazos con Miss Crazy, imagínate en los inquietos.
Ay,
va a
no.
salir chimuela.
No, hombre.
Pinche.
Ay, no. Karina is very confrontational. She don't give a fuck who's there.
No, ya no es igual.
No,
es
ya
igual.
no es igual.
No.
Ya no soy igual.
No es igual como ayer.
No. Now I just stay back and be like, all right.
Shut up.
No,
Liar.
pero if I'm drunk or if I'm feeling like yeah, entonces a lo mejor sí, pero to be honest, I haven't gone into a
Es que
confrontational
ahorita
thing.
ya no puedes decir nada porque
nowadays.
ya te sacan pistola y te
Or
hacen
stab
piu, piu.
you.
Girl, life is not.
Te hacen piu piu.
Or they be sending people out to do things to you. It's scary. It's hard out here for a pimp.
For a pimp, for a hoe, for
No,
everybody.
seriously, tú mandas a la verga a una morra y luego ya al último
Viene la prima, la tía, la abuela.
or they have little friends that are hood rats and do anything for $50. Yeah,
no,
that's the scary
scary.
part when people
Por eso yo no salgo.
shit.
Por eso ya tiene su bedtime a las 8 de la noche.
Cállate el hocico.
Shoot, at least she secure at home.
Ni tanto, ya ni en la casa está safe.
No,
No, I see.
Sad
so
world.
sad.
Anyways, but I'm in my bed for sure.
For sure.
That bed is my best friend. I'm just like,
So how did it go on the anonymous messages, Yesenia?
Oh, yeah, how'd it go?
You know what? It's always the same thing. Like, I knew I shouldn't put too much expectation because even though they really don't, they don't think, or probably they don't believe it, that it's literally anonymous. Like, we have no idea.
Yeah, it's anonymous. You don't know who sent the message. Remember that.
Not even if we like want to pay or whatever, like it doesn't give you nothing.
It doesn't give you the person that it is.
They just keep your money.
But it was just like, you know, like
but it was
simple
just a
stuff.
little. It was just a fun little, you know, a fun little thing. It wasn't too.
Yeah, but the answers.
Yeah.
The answers were pretty freaking stupid.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, like because of that last week's episode, we were talking about, you know, of our little childhood crushes and
yeah.
Oh my god, I had so much fun with that when I was listening to the podcast. I was like, I was cracking up. I even told my sister, like, have you heard the podcast? They were like, not yet. They were like, girl, it's so funny. Y'all need to get to it.
Yeah. So, you know, because of the episode, we decided to do the anonymous of which one of us,
who somebody had a crush on us.
Who did you had a crush on? And it's the same shenanigans, you know, like you're my crush.
But which one?
Which one? Who knows? Should I be honest on here? I mean, why not?
Yeah, you're anonymous.
Lucky to have you by my side, which I thought it was you, sister. I really did.
I don't have an Instagram.
So cute. And then there was another one, grateful for your friendship every day. That I thought so too. I was like, And then the last one, who was your crush? They're asking us. Apparently they didn't listen to the episode. So
Jesus.
You know.
Yeah.
But that was about it, you know, not a lot of like actual detail like I wanted to like read, you know.
Yeah.
Porque uno siempre en el chisme, ¿verdad? Uno quiere el whole
Ay, sí, ¿por qué
todo.
no
Si me
dices?
vas a decir un chisme, dámelo completo. Del
Bien
principio at the end, like with details, girl. And if you don't tell me details, I'm gonna ask.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be nice. Díganos un chisme que sea del community, que sea de lo que sea, but of yourself, of your neighbor, of your best friend. It's anonymous. Remember that. Anonymous. Okay.
Well, before we move on to the next segment, I want to give a huge little, así que like huge shout out to Carla. Yes, girl. Oh my God. Tell me why. It was ya la noche, way. And I was, you know, my daughter graduates in next month. So I was going through Instagram looking for, because I wanted to get her like a design for her cap.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And I wanted to get her like the little thing that goes around their shoulders. I don't know what it's called. So I was looking through Instagrams, because I don't have an Instagram, so I use our Instagram to see if I can get it from a creator, right? So tell me why I saw that Carla had message. Oh my God, bruh. Like literally I was bawling. I was telling my daughter, I was like, because like she was just telling me, you know, about the podcast. And on one of the episodes I was talking about how I kind of like, I was talking about the cheating that happened to me, right? And then I was like, oh, well, I mentioned like, again, you know, because I always mention it every fucking podcast. And then, yeah, like she was like trying to like validate my feelings about it and telling me how like, just validate my feelings. Like, girl, you can talk about it as much as you want, you know?
Yeah, like just...
Yeah, like even though you're over it. And then she was just like telling me how it's hard when you go through something and then now you see it through adult eyes.
Right.
It's a different situation. Girl, I don't know, just by knowing that somebody was listening to me and for her to be like, bitch, you can repeat yourself, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like validate my feelings. I was just like, somebody's listening to me. Girl. It's just like, I was like, damn, bro. Like I was just thanking her like for, you know, because Carlos has been one of the number ones like since day one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just to be in communication with the listener that we've never met. Yeah, that we've never met.
So nobody knows her in person?
No.
I thought it was Karina Joanna's friend.
No.
At first? Yeah.
At first, that's what I thought.
No.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's so sweet of you,
And
Carla.
then-
Thank you.
Yes,
For
and
listening
like-
to my sister.
You were on that podcast too.
I know.
And then
but
she was
still.
talking about how like the chisme about the ladies who went to talk to Yobis.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, she mentioned that, and I don't know. It's just having a conversation with somebody, a listener that actually listens to me. I'm just like,
Yeah.
girl, she got
It's
to me.
touching.
Yeah. So
It is.
thank you, Carla, for being our number one from day one.
We love
Yeah.
you, Carla.
Yes,
Sending you
like,
lots
I mean,
of
come
hugs.
on. She introduced us to Genesis.
Lipwit.
Yep.
I call her Lipwit.
To
That's her
Janessa.
brand. That's her brand.
Yeah. Oh my God, which by the way, she's gonna have a 420 sale. Bitch, I'm gonna be on that because I've been wanting to order. She has a lot of new things, and I've been wanting to order, but I'm like, I'm gonna spend this week on myself. But I'm like, no, because I have this and that. But no, bitch, as soon as I saw she said she was gonna have a 420 sale, I'm like, I'm not a 420, but I'm gonna be there for the discount.
Yeah.
And we had her on the podcast,
Right.
Janessa. So like, I don't know, I just see her as somebody special to us.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yep. So yeah, I wanted to mention that because it really it made my week.
I think every time we get like little messages from a listener,
Yeah.
even though we think like we're just throwing episodes out there nomás a lo tonto, like it really hits people, especially
Sometimes.
like random people, because the people that you thought were gonna tune in and listen and interact are the least ones that are doing it.
Exactly.
Totally strangers.
Like my cousin too. Shout out to Myra. She told us that she listens to our podcast, and I was like, oh my God, you listen to me? You listen to me?
Oh my God.
I know.
Yeah.
But me gusta to hear when people tell me like, oh, I've listened to your podcast. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
shit, which one? I don't even remember what I said.
Que dices, don't believe me.
Mm-hmm.
No, but thank you to everyone that listens.
Yeah,
honestly.
definitely.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because we don't think, because we it's one thing to see it, but to see numbers. But when you actually meet these people, like not meet them, but and
that
they
they-
tell you, oh my God, I heard that episode.
Yeah.
Or oh my God, about this. Or you're like, fuck. Like you'll say like,
especially
no.
cuando you feel kind of like alone on it.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
you feel like nobody can relate.
Yeah.
And then it hits you with like, I can so see
Relate.
myself in your
Yeah.
spot. And like, you're like, I don't know.
Well, a
It's,
veces nos como que estamos para abajo. We're like, fuck, like
Yeah.
we're getting nowhere. We're
Yeah.
stuck.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, is it worth it to keep doing podcasts? Like, sometimes se nos hace difícil porque pues is we don't
We're all
live off of it.
working and
This is
we're-
like a hobby.
yeah, literally our hobby.
Even though
literally.
like we want to grow and we want to have our podcast be one day number one Latina podcast, pero like that's our dream.
But I think deep down, we're just scared. We're afraid because we
Yeah.
can dive into it
Yes.
hardcore 100%, but we're kind of like always holding back. And I think we should just
To do it.
let go of that fear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Especially when we get those emails like, random emails about they listen, they came across our podcast. They don't listen, but like trying to get promotion out of us.
Yeah.
And we kind of like step back. We're like, no, but we're not ready. Pero es que uno nunca siempre está ready.
Yeah.
No.
It's like when you're gonna have a baby, you're never ready.
You're
to
never
have a
ready
baby.
for that shit.
So this is like our baby.
You have 5
Yeah.
to 6 kids and you're still never fucking ready.
Yeah.
So this is exactly it. Like you're never gonna be ready.
Yeah.
Of course.
So it's just like to perder el miedo and go for it. Like,
Yeah.
pero es que se tienen que hacer todas las 4 juntas.
Sí,
Yeah.
To be
es que
honest.
sí.
It's
Sí,
like
es que
we're
eso
all
es
gonna
lo
do
que-
it and we're all gonna do it together.
Yeah.
It's
like we're gonna jump it. We're gonna jump together.
Right.
Okay, so on Facebook, I had seen that there was this letter that came out, I think it was like last week in Michigan. And basically they were saying that if they were going to be giving this class lesson about the pronoun they and them, and how basically if you were to mistakenly pronounce someone's how would you say pronoun incorrectly, how to help you fix that situation or understand it. And basically I was like, whoa. I asked myself, like, why would I allow my daughter to sit and take a lesson, or for the school to show her about they and them, or who are they and them, I honestly wouldn't allow it. I think that, now we're different. I feel like now there's a lot more people that have changed. They're a person, but then they not pretend, but they are another person. Like they're a man, and all of a sudden they're wearing women clothes,
right?
And it would be a she. And honestly, I don't even know about the
elementary.
Yeah, elementary. So it's basically kindergarten through fifth grade. I honestly don't think I would allow it, because my daughter is what, 8, and I don't know. I just, like Jessica, I had mentioned it earlier, and Jessica was like, yeah, but then nowadays people are different. Like, you don't want to be out here in the streets pronouncing people's pronouns wrong. But that's the thing. I don't know. To me, it's like, it's something that my daughter would ask me, and then I would tell her. I don't feel like there's a lesson on that. Why? Because everybody's different.
Yeah.
So no sé. But to me, it's not okay. But now, would you guys be okay with your school giving your child a lesson, like they're taking time off studying from school,
right,
for this lesson to come out and teach them about the pronouns they and them?
Okay, so yes and no, because it really doesn't bother me of como quien viva la vida como ellos quieran. Like, that doesn't bother me, and to me, it's like, if that's what's, si eso les hace happy, whatever you feel like you are, then that's you. But when it comes to the kids getting teach this, I mean, they're barely understanding regular language. Like, they're barely understanding me, he, or como de he, she, him, her. Like, they're barely getting the hang of it, because you gotta think about it. When they're small, like, there's so much going on, and yes, I know they're kids and they're gonna absorb quickly and they're gonna learn quickly, but I think that's adding a more to it, or more focus. I wish they would do it more for adults. Teach us adults.
Yes.
And then we, and it's our role, and it's our choice if we want to show our kids.
Yeah.
And y como dicen, it's like, your kids are gonna do what you do. So if we know how to do it, they're gonna pick it up easily.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessary to add it as one more subject to the school program. I don't think there's so much focus. I understand that we need to respect, but that's why we need to teach our kids to be respectful of others' choices. That's what we need to do as parents.
Yeah.
But as a subject, I don't think it's necessary, to be honest.
How about yourself, Jessica?
I don't know. I mean, I do know. I would allow it. To me, personally. I'm very open with my kids, and I said it on the podcast multiple times. I'm very open with my kids, and I feel like the world is evolving, the world is growing, and tomorrow there can be a new pronoun of cat. It can be one that we don't even know the word. It can be alien. It can be, and I feel like I want my kid to like, yes, he said respect. Obviously, you teach them respect, but I don't want to go. I put myself in their shoes, right? If I walk into the store, and obviously I'm a woman, right? To you, I'm a woman because you know me. But if you see me, I have a mustache, right? Because I outgrew it.
You don't have a mustache.
Bitch. I do. I can barely see it.
Exactly. You act like you have a Pancho Villa.
What if somebody kept calling me sir?
Okay.
Sir. And you keep correcting them. I'm not a sir. I'm a ma'am. I'm a woman. And they keep calling you a sir. And I would be butthurt. I would have in my feelings like, damn. You know, like, why can't they understand? I'm a woman. So I feel like if somebody feels that deeply about their pronoun, why not? I wish that I could be taught, because I'm just like, it's just I guess the person that I am. Like, I wouldn't want to, and I feel like I have met a person like that once, and I feel like they don't correct you. They don't correct you.
Okay.
Or they'll like mention it once, like, like, you know, like, I'm actually they or them, but they don't. But then you keep, because your head, you see a woman, so you keep calling her she, right? And after that, they don't correct you. But you can see it in their face. They're like, bro, but I told you.
But that comes back to, we need to be mindful. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Didn't you have that situation happen to you?
Yes, I had it, and it made me feel uncomfortable. But she didn't corrected me.
They didn't correct you.
You see, they didn't correct me.
And you see, that's why I want my kid to have practice, to understand, to say, for them to be easy to have that change, because we don't, because we're old. Yeah. You know, we already are used to the he, she, and that's all we know, because that's all we grew up knowing.
Right. But then again, that's why I'm saying, like, teach us as adults, because then us as adults and as parents, we're gonna guide our kids.
Yeah.
I don't want my kid teaching me. I want to know as an adult. So kids are gonna pick up regardless. So why make it like a big subject at a school?
Well, I don't think they're gonna make it a subject. It's like when you allow your kid to take sex ed at school.
Right.
They don't take a whole fucking school year to teach them. They take 2 hours and they teach them sex ed.
Right.
I feel like that's what they're talking about. And you know, we allowed the school system to teach them
the sex ed.
Ed. Wait. And if you really look into what your kid is learning, they're learning shit.
Right.
Because what? They're just preparing them for this big fucking test that does nothing for their life.
Right. Yeah.
They're putting math harder than what it already is.
Yeah.
By putting extra steps and extra shit. So, like, really, if you take 2 hours of a whole year to talk about something like
that will help them in the future,
to help them go with society, why not?
Okay, I get it on that part.
Telling your kid, having a class, we're gonna teach your kid today how to fucking do ¿cómo se dicen? De esos cheques, how to run finances, how to write a check. Wouldn't you allow? Because that's gonna help them be person with person.
Right.
That's part of life lessons, and I understand, like, oh, that should be my responsibility, but is it? Do you have time to research? Do you have time to be like, okay, we're gonna talk 2 hours about they and them? We don't understand it. We don't know what's going. And so I feel like maybe, well, that's my opinion. Maybe, you know, giving them that option, but also you taking the time to learn it too.
Okay.
Like, you know.
Okay, I get it. But, okay, they're going to learn, but just like kids do, they come home asking questions, right? So it's going to derive more. Like, why, mom? Why should I say this? And they look like a she or a he. It's like de ahí van a sacar más questions los niños. It's like you're opening up a subject that not all parents are going to be okay with. I understand it's going to be important and it's going to help them in the future, but at the end of the day, not all parents agree with the lifestyle. And sometimes, you know, it literally, it's like I don't know. To me, I feel like that's more confusion for kids. I mean, it's already confusion for everybody, you know, like, with all the shenanigans that you know, that the world and new laws, new thing, women have no right no more, and you know, like, so many changes that, and I feel like that should be the least of adding it to our kids or putting that on top of our kids. I would be okay if it was high school. I would definitely be like,
middle
okay,
school.
or or even at middle school, 8th grade. Okay, I'm okay with that. Because they're a little bit older. They already understand a little bit more how everything is. But kindergarten to 5th grade.
Do you think maybe they did this because there's a student? There's several
that's
students.
What I was. Oh my God, you read my mind. That was my next thing that I was gonna say. But it's because for you it's early, and I guess that's why they're giving. It's like the sex ed. If you don't want to teach, if you don't want them, to put them in another room and say fin, se acabó.
Se acabó, yeah.
Pero yo creo que muchos niños, sus papás los dejan, you know, like, if that kid cries to their parents, mom, I'm not a she, I'm a they, at a very young age, let's say ahorita,
pero
tú piensas que los niños no saben muchas cosas, pero my God, que saben muchas cosas más que nosotros.
¿Por qué saben muchas cosas los niños?
Porque se juntan con otros niños.
Because of social media. Because parents give kids so much social media time when we shouldn't. So and we give them access to the whole world. Right. We are literally leaving it open for them. So that's why there's so much confusion with kids at such a young age, to me. You get me? I would agree, and I would be okay if I knew my kid was a little bit older and they understood. But now yeah, now that a lot of elementary kids are identifying with they and them, I feel because they're already having so much interaction with the whole world already.
Yeah.
So I feel like, or maybe I can be wrong, I'm not against it. And like I said, like,
it's your opinion.
it's
at
just
the end
my
of the
opinion
day.
and it's my household with my kids.
Yeah.
I'm not telling my kids not to learn it or pick up on it. Like, I
Yeah.
respect it. Like, yes, I want to know as an adult,
Yeah.
because I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. But then again, you know what I do?
Yeah.
I'm very self-conscious when I talk to someone. Like,
Yeah.
I pick up on what they
Face cues
yeah,
and-
everything. So even when I'm at work, I don't say how are you, or like I
She
try
or they.
to avoid the she and he.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah,
how are
yeah.
you? Like,
how
regular.
are you?
Yeah,
Are you
yeah,
feeling
very-
okay? Do you want this appointment? Like, I never say he, she, nothing like that,
Or
because
ma'am, sir.
yeah,
Mhm.
I never say that. And have a good day. It was my pleasure. You
Yeah.
know, I never do that because, again,
Ya
I
te
don't
había
understand
pasado.
it. Ya me pasó, and
Yeah.
I don't want to make anybody else uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I just keep my ground equal. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm just gonna stay here.
Yeah.
Neutral. You get me? Neutral.
Yeah.
So I heard about the they and them,
Yeah.
but I don't think I quite know.
Yeah, and obviously
And-
we wouldn't understand it because we don't have no one close to us
Yeah.
who
Identifies it.
identifies as they or them. Two, we're like that. I feel like that is new to us.
It
So
is.
my
You know?
question to you guys, because I feel like you guys know what it is. Them. What's them?
That's their
That's them.
identity. That's them. They are them.
They identify as them.
So
They're
if-
not a he
they're
or
not
a
a-
she.
So you're not a
It's
woman
them.
or a man?
Yeah.
You don't like a man or a woman?
Yeah.
From my understanding, is like they either identify with both, so it's them, or they don't identify with either, so it's them.
Yeah.
But what does that
Something
have
like
to do if you like men
might be
and
wrong.
women?
No,
what
this
does
is
it have-
nothing with
No,
sexual
nothing,
orientation.
It's
It's
how
just
they
with
feel.
yourself?
Yes, how
this
they
is
feel.
how they see
So
themselves.
they feel like what?
They-
Like just carne? They just feel like bones and meat?
Like they're just them.
they're just them.
It's
They
just
don't-
them. They don't identify as
with
a woman or a man.
Yes.
What? Okay, you see, I don't
We
know
are
who told me about this. I think
very-
you told me about this.
We are very.
But I don't
todavía nos
remember it
falta
being
por
like
aprender.
that. But you see, honestly, if it confuses me, I don't think I would want my daughter to be confused right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not right
Espérate,
now.
You
But-
know, now as an adult, now that I'm a grown as adult, I'm gonna tell you what it is. But it messed me up mentally. Like there's no tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You know about the seahorse, right? The male
The male
seahorse
is the one
is the
that's
one that-
pregnant.
that carries the babies
babies.
and gives birth.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Can you tell me? Let me tell y'all. When I found out about it, it messed me up completely. Like, I don't know if it's my autism. I don't know what it is. But I literally thought about it. Look, now
Yeah.
my brain is going off like right now.
Like thinking about
Like,
how is that?
how the hell is a
That's-
male? Like, how? Then it's not a male. It's a female.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
I don't understand it. And you see, like right now, I'm just going off because I.
But that's like the penguins. The penguins also, they change roles. The penguin dad is the one that sits with
Sits
the
in the
egg
egg.
And the
until it
mom
hatches,
goes
and the
and
mom
look
is the
is-
one that hunts.
But that to me is logical. It's like you giving birth and your husband's gonna take care, or your partner's gonna take care of the baby.
Yeah,
To me,
he's
that's
not
logical.
carrying the- yeah,
But the seahorse, like giving birth,
yeah,
That's
how
crazy.
does that make him a male then?
yeah.
But I know there's more to it. But like
Yeah,
to
yeah.
me, automatically, I'm like, then that's a female. Why are you calling it a male? That's
Yeah.
a female.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like our minds are so like, como
Yeah.
they already programmed us. Does it
That's
cheat?
To
Uh-huh.
he, she.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. Wow.
Yeah, that was that's a conversation because I feel like we
It's
both we deep and we both see it
So
differently.
if we call them, why don't we just call them by their name?
But that's the thing, like you don't have to go around them, they, hey, them.
Yeah.
But
But
I'm
why
saying
would you?
but if
I'm
you
saying,
did,
good morning, good morning,
she obviously gonna say,
Shelby.
yeah,
Yeah,
she
you
and
could
then
do
she's
that.
gonna say, no, call me
no,
them.
No,
that's not how it goes?
works. But
How does it work?
It
Like
works
cuando
by
you-
when people actually use your pronoun. When it's like, oh, her, hey, she. Like when they actually have a conversation and you need to say their
He, she,
pronoun.
Oh,
That's when they don't want to.
wow.
Yeah.
Well, I still wouldn't want my child to learn about
Or
that right now.
¿Cuál es el otro que se usa? There's another one because even Google has it now.
Really?
Non-binary.
Oh, girl.
Non-binary.
Don't get me started because there's so many words that I don't know and it confuses me.
It's kind of like that. It's like non-binary because you don't identify as a he or a she. But you see, this is the reason. Okay, like Jessie said, most kids, like I want to say like 98% of the kids in the fucking schools, they're all, and I include myself in it. We let our kids be open to the world, right?
Yeah.
Not all of them, but most of them.
Right.
But okay, so like obviously, like Jessie, let's say her kid is not right. So then he's confused. He's gonna come home with questions regardless if he takes that lesson or not.
Yeah, because he's gonna hear his friends.
Do you remember when you told me like, yeah, that your mom was like, what the fuck, like these little kids are like woke, like they know shit's going on, like for real. And you can't stop that. You cannot stop your kid unless you isolate him in your house
and you take his phone away.
I'm this close,
girl. You don't know how many times. But no matter what we do, if your kid goes to even private schools,
they have
like kids, like
it's worse.
Todo está abierto.
Yeah.
Para todo, like even if your kid's not open to the internet, he literally is, because he's hanging out with kids that are.
Yeah.
And then
they share everything, and they start making their own assumptions.
And if they don't feel that you're open with them, they're just gonna live their life according to their friends, not to you.
Yes and no, because when my kids come to me with questions, I try to do my best to explain. Right?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But if a parent,
a lo que está adecuado a su edad para que entiendan. But there's sometimes some questions where I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna talk about it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna talk about it, but you're not ready, and I'm not ready, so we're gonna talk about it later on. And like I changed the subject because
so there has been questions, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yes, it's like, Mom, so how are babies made? And I'm like, girl, I'm not ready for that question with my son. My son is small. A mí se me hace chiquitito, ¿verdad? Tiene 9. And like, I did once say, I was like, so he's like, so you had me from your belly? And I was like, no, I didn't have you from my belly. I had you went through my vagina. And then he's like, Mom! He wasn't ready, you know? And I'm like, I'm sorry. And then the thought of it got como que messed him up. So I was like, no, I'm just playing. You came from my belly.
My stomach.
My stomach, you know? And it's just like, I wanted to be truthful, but you can't. Sometimes you can't.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, your kid more than anybody in the fucking world. So you, at that moment, you're like, okay, fuck.
Yeah, I effed it up. Like, I know I should have been more gentle, but yo también de pendeja, like,
nobody teaches us to be parents.
Do you remember your parents talking about sex?
No,
or talking about
ever. Not even about my period. I think the one that told me about my period was my sister.
And I learned it from her mom. Even though I already had a kid, there's a lot of things that I didn't know
because of cousin's mom. Arctia. That's crazy. Talking about periods, my daughter was complaining of stomach pain for a couple days.
Stop
and
it.
I was going, and the thing that I kept telling her, where does it hurt? And she kept saying underneath her belly button. So I was like, oh my God, what if it's cramps? I'm like, should I have the conversation? I was literally going to. My daughter's like, she's gonna be 9 in July, this July. So I was like, damn, should I tell her? But then I honestly, I was like, you know what? I think we're gonna wait for it to happen. Because I don't feel like she's ready. I don't feel like she's ready for me to tell her that we bleed once a month from our vagina. Like,
my kid got it at 10.
Okay.
Or 9 or 10.
Jessica got it at like what, 9, 10?
Me too.
I got it at 15.
Yeah,
15.
Maybe your daughter will get it at 15 too.
I don't know, but
I don't know. But con todos los hormones nowadays from the food,
that's what my mom told me.
That's another thing that I wanted to tell you. That we think that our kids, like, even food is making them go through puberty faster.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't stop your kids from.
Pero ¿por qué la food no me afecta a mí? ¿Por qué no me afecta en my butt? A ver. Like all the fucking hormones affect my ass, please, my hips, please.
No,
like,
guys,
like your butt's like no. Don't
the last time I took my brother, I think this was my brother's freshman year. That I took him to school, high school, freshman year. When I tell you, half of the freshman girls walking in that school, tenían cuerpo. They had bodies of women.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, whoa.
No,
God damn. That girl looks like she's 20, 21. Like,
Y luego con
oh
el pinche
my
makeup, güey.
God. Yeah.
No, a mí lo que me daba miedo es cuando my kid was going into middle school.
No
Güey,
way.
niños bien barbones parecían.
Oh, yeah.
Dije, they
You're
look like high schoolers. What the fuck? They
Como-
go here? Yeah, they're in 7th.
What
the
Oh,
fuck?
yeah. They be having
Girl,
a whole,
I
like,
was literally,
the
how
whole
is my
beard,
kid going to school
everything.
with those grown-ass kids? I'm like, my little kid's a little kid. Like, what
Yeah.
the fuck? Él literalmente desde ese año se creció como así como que de la nada.
Damn.
Como que se infectan. Well, we reached the end of today's episode. I like this episode. I like when we can argue. When we don't have the same point of view. Because
No.
Yeah.
mostly 98% of the
We are all
time,
the same.
we have the same point of view.
This
Yeah.
time we were like, no. And you were
Yeah.
like, yes.
Yeah. I like hearing you guys' point of view. And I like that you guys listen to mine.
I know, because you did open my mind a little bit about that. Especially when you said, do we have the time?
Yeah.
And do we have the right words? Or también if we need to do our research, because if we're giving our children knowledge about something,
Yeah.
we gotta know the real facts.
And-
We can't
and,
pull
yeah.
facts out of our ass and then they
Yeah.
run with it, and then later on is like, that's not right.
like, yeah, you're
So
doing the wrong
it's kind of we
Yeah.
gotta educate ourselves first, like Yesenia said too.
Yeah,
We
and
gotta-
I feel like not just with that, I feel like with everything, even how to talk to your kids about sex, because I know I didn't have
Oh
that.
my god,
And
that's
I
another
feel
thing we
like-
have to talk about, and we got to talk
not
about
ready.
it soon, because if I hear that these kids are having sex when they're 13 years old,
Yeah.
and that
But
gives
at
me like
that
fuck, like
Anxiety.
That's
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
my kid, she's a little bit older than 13, but still, like, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's something, in reality, uno nunca se pone a pensar esto, ¿verdad?
Yeah.
That's something traumatizing.
It kinda is.
It's, you know, intimacy at a young age, because you don't even know what you like.
Oh, what it
You know,
what it is.
changes you,
Oh, for
because
sure.
you
Oh,
lose the
yeah.
value that you're supposed to have as a woman.
Yeah.
You know, like, you
And
feel
that's
like
another
it's just
thing.
a random thing. It's not a
We
random thing.
don't. At
We
that
have
age,
to-
when the fuck do you talk about your value as a woman?
Exactly.
We don't.
Or
And the
that
thing
your
is,
body is
tus
special.
Right. And then it
Yeah.
comes back to, you know, us as Mexicans, nunca te dicen nada, nomás te dicen, y no tengas sexo, y
Yeah,
que
you're like,
no
what
sé
the-
qué, pero no te
Pero
lo
si
explican
sales
de que por qué no.
panzona.
Ajá.
What the fuck? What
Like
is
all
that
the
mean?
life
Like,
there.
yeah.
Right. And we have to think about it. We have to, si mi mamá me fuera dicho, Yesenia, tu cuerpo es algo que tienes que valorar, que tienes que cuidar, porque, you know, like,
Yeah.
that's you, this is you, you have to take care. Like, if she would have said that, or you know, be more like, explain it better to me.
Yeah.
Don't just tell me don't have sex. Like,
Yeah,
be like more down
Tell
here.
me
like,
why.
exactly, like when the kids say ask,
Pero quién
why,
sabe, güey,
you know,
porque
like,
uno cuando está a esa edad tienes una calentura en la panocha que se te pasa y se te va.
Y te vale
Sí,
madre.
tu mamá
when-
te dijo, no te
fíjate
dijo.
que no. Let me go back. Yo nunca tuve ninguna calenturera en la panocha. En el corazón, sí.
Ay,
Ay, all these crushes. No.
Okay,
espérate.
I
In
know, but
reality,
I know what
sí.
you mean.
Because now when I think about it, going back to that point,
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I
think
didn't
about
like
sex.
it like that.
Yeah.
I
And to
didn't
be-
know, like,
It was
I
more
feel you
of
on that
showing
one.
the love.
I feel you on that one, because I would spend a lot of time with the guy that I really liked, the one that I was dating in sixth grade, and we would go to the movies, and we would be left alone, but we would kiss, but it was like pecks. It wasn't, and
Yeah.
he would never like try to touch me or anything like that. So now that you're saying that, you're right.
Yeah.
I didn't think about
Yeah.
sex
Sex.
at that time, not
No.
until I got to my
I feel like
farther. I'm not
down
gonna
the
lie. Look, at
teens.
freshman high school, ahí sí.
Ay, güey.
Ahí sí te voy a decir. And
Pero
it was crazy.
to me it was too late. I had already had a kid, but it's true. When I was sexually active, when the fuck was I thinking about orgasming or
Oh, yeah.
I
it
like
was
it like this, or
like
this
most of the
turns me on.
time
Like,
it was
you don't
I
know.
knew it was something bad, but at the time I felt like I was like I have to. He loves me.
Yeah,
I have,
you
to
do
I
it.
have
have
to
to do
for
this
him.
because he loves me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I can see that happening.
It's true. You're traumatized because
Yeah.
you're doing it for love. You're not doing it because you like it.
Yeah.
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 I see it.
Yeah.
So
I take
you
it
know,
back. You take it back. It's because, like, it's hard to remember that situation in your life. You just because I feel like a lot of people, that's what they think when I tell them I have a kid at that age. Ay, ya andabas de calenturienta. And it's something that it's in my head, and it's se me pega.
Sí.
Sí, but I remember.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Therapy. No,
Shit.
We had Therapy Wednesday.
Therapy Wednesday today. Pero sí, like, I like these kind of episodes where we can learn from each other and we can see different sides. It's not the same shit. So give us your opinion. Give us if what do you think about this topic, and don't forget to follow us on all social medias at Ready or Not Latinas. And with that, we are out.
Bye.